Okay, thank you. So our today's points are new museum establishment, essential things, theme about museum architecture and the funding agencies like that. So the museum is like this one, like a curiosity box, and it's an one happiness, happiness for to establish a museum for our knowledge and for the purpose of society. So these are our today's points. Just to see here the number of museums in the world. Like I mentioned last time, till date we documented 1833 museums from India, 250 museums from Maharashtra, 29 museums from Pune, 55 museums from uh, Mumbai, uh, 90 museums, 95 museums from Delhi, 90 museums from Kolkata and surrounding region. So like that, here you can see this number Asia and Pacific, 18,180 museums. This is a number in 2021 by UNESCO. And in all over the world, there are the 1 lakh 3,842 museums. And now we can say in last 4 years, it may be up to 1 lakh 5,000 like that. So if there are such more than 1 lakh museums are there, then why should we need one more? What will be the important things for to establish a museum? For all of you, if you want to establish a new museum, please remember these things. Please remember. For the establishment of a new museum, the essential things, concept and museum are, first of all, you need to see the name of museum. Name of museum. Why it is important? It is important for the grants. Like if you there will be the name as a any historical museum or heritage museum, you should need it to be add and a research center. It will be helpful for you for to get the funds, because for some specific concept of a museum, you will get the funds from few organizations. But if it is a research center, then you will get the more funds. But the museum must be established under any foundation or trust, or you can register under the Companies Act or like that. It is depending on the purpose of your museum. So, if there is no any such a trust or the foundation, you can establish first the foundation or the trust, and then you can start a museum under it. So, like शास्त्र संग्रहालय एवं अनुसंधान केंद्र, uh, शास्त्र संग्रहालय एवं अनुसंधान केंद्र is the name of a museum in Banaras, Varanasi. But the trust name is Shastra Sangrahalay एवं अनुसंधान Trust. Say, it's near about the same name, or Shastra Mandiram Trust, and under that the museum and research center. Then here these are the just examples, like the cultural studies and research center, center for historical and cultural studies. Your name uh, s- uh, must be uh, as short as possible. जितना छोटा हो सकता है उतना कीजिएगा. और दूसरा है कि उसे आप जो है जैसे शॉर्ट फॉर्म करेंगे तो वो भी इजी होना चाहिए, कैची होना चाहिए, ऐसा प्रयास कीजिएगा. तो अ, उसमें फिर सेकंड पार्ट जो है, या सॉरी, वन मोर थिंग. If there is an already a trust or a foundation, then you please remember that there must be one line or the words mentioned in that trust deed, like museum or the exhibitions and this. If it is not there, then you can submit a change report toward the charity commissioner, and you can add that words at that line, and then you can establish museum under that trust or the foundation. Okay. So again, after that, it's a need to think, what is your aim to establish a new museum? क्या उद्देश्य है आपका ये संग्रहालय स्थापन करने के पीछे? As I mentioned that if there are more than 1 lakh museums are already there in all over the world, then what's your aim to establish a new museum? Is it for your self study, personal museum, personal interest, or for the scholars and researchers, or for children and common public, or it's a inclusive goal like that, including these all these things. So please remember about that. And then please remember again, intent of the museum must be to inspire and motivate people. कुछ प्रेरित करना है ना, to dream of the impossible irrespective of their backgrounds and work towards achieving it. Like you can give an example like that, dream of the impossible or irrespective of their backgrounds, like the story of APJ Abdul Kalam. एक बच्चा जिसने अपने रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी जीने के लिए फॉर द अर्निंग ऑफ द डेली ब्रेड एंड बटर ही सेलिंग द न्यूज़पेपर्स, घर घर में अखबार बांटा था, मगर वो बच्चा जब ये दुनिया छोड़ करके चला गया, दुनिया के हर अखबार में उसका नाम था. सो ऐसे ही कोई कहानी जो हमें इंस्पायर करे, मोटिवेट करे, ऐसे कई कई सारे इंसिडेंट्स हो सकते हैं. सो concept note must be proper. Field knowledge is one of the most important thing before designing any museum. So the person who is having such field knowledge, you can take his help too. If you are already experienced, then it's okay, but if not, then you can take the help of others. So in today's this high compression age, this ideology is based. Like yesterday also, Kiranji asked me too many questions regarding this. Ideology is based on experiments. This find more relevance and application than ever before. Nowadays, it's most important thing. The museum aims to emphasize the importance of educational thought and its relevance today. Why it should be important? Because if you want to your museum be as a research center, then it must be connected with these educational things, and need to be relevance also. So story of the museum, as yesterday I mentioned, yesterday or day before yesterday I mentioned, kahaniyan bikti hai. Stories can sell, and you could get the money because of these stories. So kahaniyan bikti hai. Like I mentioned about APJ Abdul Kalam in this example. So the museum narrates the journey of a visionary who, through his hard work, touched the lives of thousands of people, and that remained rooted to his humble origins. Like you can narrate the story of the founder of the museum. As I worked in the Gandhi Research Foundation Museum, the founder Padma Shri Bhavallalji Jain, who worked with too much hard, because when he established this Jain Irrigation Systems Limited at that time, he had no money for to purchase a bicycle too. But afterwards, because of his own hard work and vision, he established so many such companies and this Gandhi Research Foundation Museum. And when he died, when he lived this world, at that time, 8,000 crore rupees turnover, annual turnover of that entire company. So it means that such visionary persons are there. So, but yet remained rooted to his humble origins. So इसको भी हमें ध्यान रखना है. अगर जिसमें ईगो आ गया, मेहनत किया, पैसा कमाया, बड़ा हो गया, बट अगर उसमें अगर ईगो आ गया, वो खत्म हो गया. So we should need to be connected. So audience of the museum, what is your audience? Who will come the museum? General masses, students, research scholars. In Marathi, we call the words like haushe, naushe, gaushe. Means those who are little bit interest, more interest, and skillful persons like that. Audience of the museum group, age group, like from 10 to 80 years. Varied literacy, interest, and expertise levels. नए भी लोग आ सकते हैं, experts भी लोग आ सकते हैं. Different cultural backgrounds. We should need to be very careful when at the time of interpretation in the museums of the artifacts or the archival documents, whatever be there. So irrespective of all these things, you should need to be spread the proper message of the museum. National and international visitors. At the time of partition museum, Amritsar, if you use the words like or any type of freedom struggle related museum for any revolutionaries, krantikari and that all, if you mention the words like British log या European log बहुत बुरे होते हैं, ऐसा नहीं words use कर सकते. You can't use the lines that these British or the European peoples are very bad. Never use such line. You can say that at that time, because of the this empire, uh, British soldiers or the British administration, they behaved like this with the Indian peoples or the peoples in all over the world, wherever the empires. Till today, we get such experience, no? Because of the different things, political parties or the things. So just I want to say that गुंडे जहां भी होते गुंडे ही होते, अच्छे जहां होते वो अच्छे ही होते. सो इतना याद रखिएगा. Bad peoples are always bad because of their mindset. Good peoples are always good because it's their उनके बोलते हैं ना कि माता पिता ने किए हुए संस्कार, गुरुजनों के संस्कार अच्छाई अच्छाई होती है. व्हाट इज द गुड, इट्स गुड. व्हाट इज द बैड, इट्स बैड. वो कौन है रिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ एनीथिंग. सो ऐसे ही हमको बताना है. म्यूजियम में इंटरप्रिटेशन ऐसे ही होना चाहिए. सो टू क्रिएट द मीनिंगफुल एक्सपीरियंस, the information would be layered to engage to all types of audience. But what happens nowadays in the museum? Who will design the museum? Or generally, who is the designer of museum? The people like you and me. And we design the museum like our mindset, but not as per the visitors. Because as I mentioned, the maximum age group is from 10 to 20, like that, students and the childrens. But till then, we design the museums like our own experience or our mindset. So we should need it to be create a meaningful experience. Like we call this as primary level. Generally, any museum is like this. Galleries are the same. If you want to come, if you want to read, if you want to spend more time, you can spend. If you don't want, you can go like that. But no, expertise levels are different, interest levels are different. So we should need to be add something secondary level. जिनको थोड़ा ज्यादा knowledge है, जिनको थोड़ा ज्यादा interest है, for the people those who are getting more interest or more knowledge. And this is one third level. So more exhaustive. So this is what we can say the multi-stage museum. Multi-stage museum. And now this concept used in our Abhay Prabhavana Museum, which is on the highway, Pune Bombay Old Highway near Kamshet, Kanefata. So it's the world's largest Jain philosophy museum. In that museum, this concept used over there. So we called it as the directed path, suggested path, and exploratory path. So जितना ज्यादा levels बढ़ेंगे, as you increase the such levels, your work will also increase. So this is one example, like socio-political development and spread of Jainism. So exploratory path, then work increased in suggested path, and then work increased in directed path. So as I mentioned, the work increased. Here you just see the ancient period, but here prehistory, ancient, medieval 1, medieval 2, modern. Here again it's a change. Jada, more and more depth. So work increased. Here, like in our this path, we use different types of the mediums for to give the information. So the visitor walks into this space. You should need to be utilize your space properly for to explore the concepts. So as the timeline increase, the work will increase, as I mentioned. So sorry to for use this two lines in Marathi. You should need it to be fixed your museum's place. Either is it a temporary museum or is it a permanent museum. Temporary means if you are in a place which is on rent or that basis, or if it is a permanent your own building and that like that. So you should need to think about that. Why? Because whatever be the place, please use as much as possible. Not use that fixable items or fixable furniture. There are so many problems. We will discuss afterwards about these all. Then you should need to be think about which type of the exhibition. प्रदर्शन किस तरह का होना चाहिए? Which type of? Is it only the materials like the manuscripts, coins, archaeological artifacts like that, or with some informations with the using of these panels, vertical panels, or you can use any type of the mediums, and then digital information like the kiosk technology or touch screens or whatever there. So after defining this, these all these things, one more important thing, you need to be decide the museum's manifesto and methods of communication. So what is the manifesto? It's depending on your museum's theme and your own expertise level. Okay. So like it's in third thing mentioned, less built space, non-building. These are the new concepts, modern concepts. So जितना संभव है उतना प्रयास करे. So then you can get the experiences here, different types of experiences. So like levels are also different. Then overall feel of the museum is like this. एक ही संग्रहालय में इस तरह का अलग अलग अनुभव मिले, ऐसा हम कर सकते हैं. Then method of communication, this audience demographics, this directed path, suggested path and exploratory path. So content will be communicated through storytelling and multi-layered arrangement of information, because this information which we convert into our this museums panels or these things, so it must be multi-layered arrangement, as I mentioned, depending on the expertise. So story, if there is a same story, but you can change its results also. Like my child Atharva told me the story of tortoise and खरगोश और ये कच्छप जो है उसकी कहानी वो बताता है. So rabbit and tortoise. So the result is always the tortoise win. But in Atharva's story, both wins together. How? Because he told me that why can't both use the this skating shoes and just they put the hand together and they win, both win. How he imagined this? Because a bicycle, एक साइकिल वाला वो बस को पकड़ लेता है and he traveled with the bus. So see here the imagination power, the results change, no? The story is same but the results different. So same like that, in the same story of this rabbit and tortoise, so many results are there, as he mentioned. So they started the race, the tortoise and rabbit started the race, but both not came. People wait for them, but both disappeared. Why? Tortoise asked to rabbit that though anyone will win, what the people will do? They are laughing or they are just cheering. चाहे कोई जीते चाहे कोई हारे, दुनिया तो बस तमाशा देखने के लिए खड़ी है. छोड़ दो उनको, चलो हम अपना जीवन उसका आनंद लेते हैं. Let us come together, we enjoy the life. Forget about this rat race like that. ऐसे इसमें पढ़ने का कोई जरूरी नहीं, चलो जीवन का आनंद लेते हैं. Like that, different results of the story depending on your audience too. Then relevant interactive and technological mediums. Like nowadays, 90% museums are traditional. 90%. Only 5% museums we can say they use both. But the 5% are using excessive, unnecessary, much and much मल्टी टेक्नोलॉजी. इतना ज्यादा यूज किए है, एक्चुअली सराउंडिंग के बारे में सोचना चाहिए. द ऑडियंस ऑफ योर सराउंडिंग रीजन. क्या म्यूजियम में विजिट करने वाले, द म्यूजियम द विजिटर्स आर ओनली द टेक्निसोवी? सब ऐसे टेक्नोसेवी लोग होंगे क्या? कुछ बूढ़े बुजुर्ग सीनियर हो सकते हैं जो आदत नहीं है, those who are not using such type of the mediums. So we should need a fusion, not only the old songs or not only the new songs, fusion, no, melody. So we should need to use this fusion there. So many such things we can use. Mediums you can see here, the traditionals and these modern technologies. Like traditional mediums, paper manuscripts or the palm leaf manuscripts or these paintings, पट्टचित्र. Normally we see our museums like this. Showcase के अंदर इस तरह से झांक करके हम देखते हैं generally. What is the height of the showcase? It must be around 2.5 feet like that. Then this glass used over here. Then nowadays it's not compulsory to use the original things in museum. It's not compulsory. If your theme is good, then you can use the replicas. Like we used in Gandhi Research Foundation Museum, 81,000 square feet museum, but only in two showcases. Only in two showcases, the original artifacts are there. Otherwise, we used the replicas and images, that all these things, and so many people appreciated it. Then, when any audience entered in the museum, we should need to be uh, create one tempo, एक environment creation होना चाहिए. So we should need to use such type of some different experiments like this or any auditorium, small auditorium like that, for to give them proper information. What we need to see in this museum like that, or uh, how we can create the interest in the audience, the curiosity. So for that, you can use such mediums there. Then, as I mentioned, storytelling was, but you just imagine here. Generally, museums are like that. From here, entry, then as per our left hand rule, not only in electronics or the physics, in museums also, or any you can use, not need right hand rule actually. So आपकी तरफ से आप देख रहे, मेरी तरफ से मैं देख रहा हूँ. So per the as enter in the museum from the right hand rule. So from here, then when they entered, then generally looks like this, then come toward this, and then in mid, as per depending on the space, they see the showcases in between, and then move from this side, and from here they just went out. But why can't we use such type of the story walls? You can put your artifacts or the things to use this space to here, this space here, this space here, or this side, and including the stories, but beautiful, attractive ways. So if a museum is little bit modern, then we should, as per the ICOM guidelines, if it's required more than 30 minutes, then you must be create a space for to get this seated experience, because for the children's, for the pregnant women's, then senior peoples, those who are having the problems, different problems, BP or sugar or anything like that. So थोड़ा बैठ करके थोड़ा जिसको हम बोलते हैं ना रिलैक्स माइंड से देखने के लिए आधे घंटे से अगर ज्यादा हो, if it is more than 30 minutes, then you should need to create some space there for to get the sitting experience. Then interactive mediums we can use over here, like the touch screens or the kiosks or like that, and it will then become the interactive. Then such a digital mediums also, holographic projection and that on another things, like in used in Sadhu Vaswani Darshan Museum or in Akshardham Museum, Delhi, or the other mediums too. Digital walls also, we'll see that again in Bapu Museum, Vijayawada. Then use of digital media and nature also. Why should we need to use this combined architecture? Because use of the surrounding nature, air, sky, light, ground, water, as much as possible, for to save the energy. You can use that your solar panels and that all these things too. And second thing, this body is also 5 elements, and this nature is also having the same 5 elements. Panchabhuta and Panchamahabhuta. We should need to connect it properly. It must be the fusion of artificial architecture, human combination. ये दोनों का एक combine होना चाहिए, natural and artificial. So तब जा करके एक सुंदरता निर्माण होगी. Experiments. So let us come together for to design such things. Like when I was worked 3-4 years back in Nagpur. At that time, I draw one picture on in a drawing book and gave it to Atharva, and I asked him, please come with me and we'll just see there. So how we can establish environmental, eco-friendly museum? So I told him that if in future there will be need, if I will be no more there, then you can do this work. So like that. So we should need to be keep our legacy for to protect the nature, save this natural heritage. हम कुदरत की, प्रकृति की सुंदरता से साथ खिलवाड़ करके, उसको नष्ट करके, बर्बाद करके कुछ आर्टिफिशियल चाहे जितना सुंदर बना दे, बट टिल देन प्रकृति इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन दिस ऑल दिस थिंग्स। ऐसे भी कुदरत जो है हमसे इतनी बड़ी शक्तिशाली है, चाहे आप कुछ कर लो, वो मिटा करके फिर से जो है अपना ये जो है ये कर लेती है। सो पुनरुत्थान शब्द जैसे हम यूज करते हैं। सो इकोलॉजिकल साइकिल, लाइक यू कैन यूज होलोग्राफिक प्रोजेक्शन ऑफ एन इकोलॉजिकल सिस्टम इफ इट इज पॉसिबल, then you can use the original. But if you want to, if there is no any such a probability, then possibility, then you can use these technologies, because like one Dipanjali Maurya used in that definition for the we should need to get the information about this environment and the things in our museums. So you can use such things there. Then installation must be proper. Installation must be proper, like the experience of this doctrine of Anekantavada, Mahavira philosophy. Otherwise, what happen? The same thing is there, but interpretations are different because of maybe it's not proper installed, or because of the improper information there, गलत तरीके से कुछ बताया गया हो। सो इस तरह का नहीं होना चाहिए। सो अनेकांतवाद, सबकी सुनिए, बट जो उचित है उसको आप जरूर वहां पर ये करें और उचित रूप से इंस्टॉलेशन करें। सो द कंसेप्ट वुड आल्सो बी एक्सप्लेन्ड थ्रू a closed box installation which can be viewed from different side. This is one idea, but we can use different techniques. Okay, आजकल तो बहुत सारे ऐसे मीडियम्स है। Then many times our institutions or the people, those who want to establish museum, they always complain that we have no space, sir. We want to establish museum, but there is no any space in our campus. I said that don't worry, please show me just your campus. So this is from the entrance gate, main entrance gate, to the buildings gate, buildings first room, like that. So there is a space. So we used this space for the museum too. ऐसे भी कुछ क्रिएट किया जाता है। जनरली लोग सिर्फ पेड़ लगाते हैं या पार्किंग स्पेस कुछ करते हैं, बट व्हाई कांट वी यूज with some innovative ideas? There are so many ideas, we can use that. Then रूफ प्लेस, हमारा जो छत होता है, सो छत को भी हम इस तरह से विथ द यूजिंग ऑफ लाइट वेट मटेरियल and this some beautiful glasses or these things, we can use that space too. But please we remember the thing, structural audit of that building. If it is old, then please remember what is it, a load bearing structure or RCC structure or whatever there, उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए then you can start this construction. And you can use or utilize the space properly on the roof also, like this way. So what's the purpose? To use 100% space. Then you should need it to be created. If the museum is in the scale in medium size or big size, then we should need the spaces for ticketing, baggage counters, then collecting audio guide ports, devices, museum navigation maps, brochures, AV screens. So just one thing I want to mention: if there is no area for the baggage counters, what will happen? Are the visitors move here and there, or they get the enjoy with their own luggage on their back, or the bags in their hand? No, it's not like that. So because when I had visited the museum in Hastinapur, yeah, at that time I get such experience. Then I requested them. So because of my membership of the ICOM and that other things, they allow me to keep my luggage in director's cabin. But what about the others, common public? So you should need to be care about all these things at the time of designing your museum, restrooms also, and so other things. The most important thing in a museum, relevance of museum. Relevance. As I mentioned already, there are hundreds of museums, then why should you need again and one more? क्या जरूरत है फिर से एक म्यूजियम बनाने की? So is it connected with my day to day life, personal life? Is it connected with the my family or community life, or with the nation? What are the use of it for our entire globe world? So if it is relevant, then definitely we visit it again and again. If it is not relevant, it's just for the interest, सिर्फ कुछ अजीबो गरीब कुछ चीजें दिखाए हुए, it's okay. Few wonderful things are there, it's okay, I will visit only one time, but not after that. So you should need to be think the relevance of the museum, for all, then objectives of thoughts before the establishing the museum. See, the museums are like the experimental laboratories. For what? For the subjects like social sciences, humanities, commerce, or for the science fields also. But already, as we know, there are the laboratories for the physics, chemistry, biology, botany, zoology, electronic science. But what about the social sciences and humanities? There are no any such laboratories. So the museums could become this type of the laboratories for such subjects. But you should need to design it by like that way. So before the registration, you should need the different things. Huh? These are the mandatory documents whenever you want the funds from the government. But before establishing, you should need a proper committee. There are the different types of committees: director board, if it is registered under the Company Act, and if it is under the trust or the Societies Act, executive and advisory committees are there. But at least you should need an organization head in that committee. If there is any educational organization, then organization's chairman or the president or the secretary, treasurer, or like that. Then organization's coordinator. It may be the principal of college or the principal of your school or the department head, like that. Then historian, museum expert, digital knowledge expert. It's not compulsory the historian if the museum is not related with the history. But you can think about this at the time of the history or the heritage museums, like that. Digital knowledge experts, architects, legal advisors. You can use the word here subject expert too. Subject expert. Okay. So legal advisor, we should need this in future if there will be such any mistakes or any problems will create. So this type of 5 to 7 people's committee, not so much big committee, because though there are so many experts peoples, but if they can't give the time to you, अगर उनके पास समय ही नहीं आपके लिए, then what the use? So many times when I had visited, or I am a member of around 75 committees. So whenever I had visited the place, in that meeting, the chairman or secretary are there, but the other experts are not there. Then I asked directly, then why should you call me from? मैं कहीं दिल्ली में मीटिंग है, और कहीं आसाम में मीटिंग है, और कहीं कोलकाता में मीटिंग है, और हम लोग यहाँ से जा रहे, यानी यहाँ से माने महाराष्ट्र से जा रहे. So we journey around 12 hours, 14 hours, 24 hours, like that. And the people, those who are nearby places, need only 1 or 2 hours. If they are not available there, then the coordinators mentioned that, sir, he is full busy, sir. Then I said that, then why should you call him as a committee member? No need. The peoples, those who can give the time, proper time दे सकते हैं, because once you establish committee, the committee's goal will be the development of that organization, that institution. Okay. Then we should need actual working manpower. प्रत्यक्ष रूप से काम करने वाले लोग भी होने चाहिए. The committee may be like they advise you, they guide you, but the actual working manpower, the head of the institution, objects collection work, संग्रहालय निर्माण करना है तो objects collection करना है. Objects means not only the artifacts. Please remember this again. It means that content development work is also there. Then cataloging of objects, conservation, preservation of objects. So these are curating work. We can say the curating work, cataloging of objects and maintenance. So we should need minimum 3 to 4 persons. You can start with 1 or 2 persons like that, but afterwards you must need or a large team, expert team. When you collect the antiquities for museums, please careful for try for to take the antiquity without purchasing. कम से कम पैसा देने की जरूरत भी पड़ी तो कम से कम दीजिए, बिकॉज इफ यू वन स्टार्ट टू स्पेंड द मनी ऑन द परचेसिंग, क्या खरीदते जा रहे, कितना खरीदते जा रहे, यू spend more and more and more money. So if you spend more money only for the purchasing of the artifacts, then what about the museum space, building, interiors, then salaries, and so many other things. Confirm the originality of antiquity. Whenever you purchase an anything, if there is a coin like Maurya coin, Panchamarkada coin, if anyone will say you, I can give this coin to 1,000 rupees only, but how could you check it? Is it original or duplicate like that? If you have no any idea about that, then please take the help of the experts. Otherwise, what will happen? Though the original artifact price is 1 lakh, and if you get this 1,000, then you can just say that it's a replica, but not the original one like that. Then collect the things without repetition, as yesterday also mentioned. Same thing in 1,000 quantity, no need. Different things in 1,000, it's okay. So must know and mention the origin of source. Sometimes like the statues, sculptures, bronze, chola bronze like that. So कुछ लोग ला करके दे देते हैं, हम लोग ऐसे ही रख लेते हैं. चोरी क्यों हो तो? If it is stolen, then what will happen? उसको कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ेगा, आप लोग जेल में चले जाओगे. So agreement copy with the donors. This is one important thing. So I mentioned one copy, this agreement copy between the museum and donors. If you want this in Hindi or in English, only at the time of when you will work for a museum, then you ask this to me. Okay, so many things are mentioned over here, without any sale or without any such commercial purpose, just only for the conservation and preservation. We hand over these artifacts to the owner or like that. We mentioned these things in the agreement. Then at the time of museum's design, we should need to get the architecture's help. So have not had happy experience with architecture. बहुत बार जनरली ऐसा होता है, because museums, 80-90% museums are like the general buildings. बस एक स्ट्रक्चर खड़ा कर दिया, उसके अंदर आके बोला अब बना दो. Hall, general halls are there, and someone offer you, now please come and establish a museum, start a museum over here. What the use? Why not some unique designs? So I am not happy with that all. So we should need to be require application of all the skills of architecture, as well as of museologist. Both we need to come together, and we can design a beautiful museum. If collection is already there, then it's according to the collections and activities. अगर आप पहले ही दिमाग में रखे हुए, if you are a plan ready plan. So for your these collections, if you have the 10,000 coins and 10 statues, so what should need to be get the priority at the time of design the museum for your numismatics collection. But if 10,000 statues are there and 10 coins, then automatically the design change, no? So, but without thinking of that, if you already designed this, then it will be not really good. So activity is also important. Like in Pune, there is a museum named as Zapurza Museum, started by Ajit Gadgirji, PN Gadgir Jewelers. So excellent activities are there. Full day they enjoyed there. All the visitors also enjoyed there, and they designed it well according to activities. So we should need to be care about such things. And this buildings constructed for other purposes. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि कोई palace है, historic house है, then it converted in a museum. But again, Yes, you get a benefit of the heritage buildings, definitely, but you should need to take care which hall or which space used for which purpose, for which exhibitions, exhibits like that. So इस तरह से हमको सोच करके properly thinking, most inconveniently and illogically from the point of view of efficient operation. So many times this happened. Just one question I put in front of all of you. What is the uh, uh, how much space, sorry, how much space used for the repository? Like usually, like the museum, our the Ther Museum in Dharashiv district, or the Central Museum Nagpur, or any such big museums, Rajshekhar Reddy State Museum, National Museum, millions of things are there, artifacts are there, but exhibited only few of them, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, or like. It means that maximum up to 20%, but 80% in repository. But how much space for the repository? Only 20%. For the exhibition, used around 70% space. Then 10 to 15% space for the administrative purpose, or sometimes 60% for the displays, 10 to 20% for the administrative purpose and other parking and that, and then 10 to 20% space for the repositories. So then what is the condition? क्या क्या हालात होंगे ऐसे जगह पर जब रखते, थाउजेंड्स ऑफ आर्टिफैक्ट्स को ऐसे डंपिंग ग्राउंड की तरह वो रखते हैं. लाइक वन एग्जांपल of a museum or renowned institution organization in Pune city. When I visited their manuscripts collection, they put the manuscripts there like the dumping this type of raddi. So manuscripts को इस तरह से फोल्ड करके कोई रखता है क्या? But ऐसे रखा गया था, and then we shocked to see all these things. So we should need to be use this properly, logically. Then here, at the time of designing this, studies carefully the professional and technical museological requirements, consults to the greatest extent possible museum experts. जब भी कोई इस तरह का एडवाइस मांगता है तो मैं खुले दिल से, people ask me and I always give as best as possible from my side. And they asked me how much amount you asked for this. I said no, and I have no need of any money for the design of museum, because it's my passion, it's my interest. You can ask if you want, you can ask it, but try to give as best as possible. Then examines the environment and the social conditions. Like when we visited Ambikapur, Shiriji is here. At that time, we think about the surrounding region. Like elephants are there. So many number of elephants visited. At the time of this university also, Sant Gaira Guru Vishwavidyalaya, they uh, uh, created already the trenches are there. हाथियों के झुंड आकर के अंदर ये नहीं होना चाहिए, इसलिए पहले से पूरा वो ये कर दिया है, बैरिकेड भी कर दिया है. तो उसके बारे में सोचना चाहिए. देन इन द रेनी रीजन्स लाइक दी कोंकण, तो रूफ जो है कोला रुच्छत बोलते हैं उसको. सो सच टाइप ऑफ दी roofs used there, designs, proper designs are there. Then the social conditions of the community. If there is any Jew community there, and if you use the swastika symbol of Nazi, is it okay there? आपका आसपास का कम्युनिटी कौन है उसके बारे में सोचिएगा. यू शुड नीड टू कनेक्ट ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ द पीपल्स. बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं जानबूझ के किसी को आप जो उंगली करना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं करना ना. सो इफ किसी मुस्लिम कंट्री में जाकर के, इस्लामिक कंट्रीज में, कुड यू डिजाइन म्यूजियम लाइक द शेप ऑफ पिग, एक सुअर का जैसा डिजाइन करके ऐसा कर सकते हैं क्या? कहीं भारत में जहाँ हिंदू कम्युनिटी का ज्यादा ये हो, कोई गाय काऊ डेथ होके पड़ा हुआ है, ऐसा बिल्डिंग बना के म्यूजियम कर सकते हैं क्या? सो थिंक दिस, किसी बहुत स्लम एरिया में आप बहुत ऐसा कोई चकाचौंध एकदम ऐसा करके, व्हाट यू विल गेट? यू कांट कनेक्ट द कम्युनिटी. अगर आप समाज को जोड़ना चाहते, बिकॉज म्यूजियम्स आर दी कनेक्टिंग पॉइंट्स, समाज को अगर जोड़ना चाहते हो तो इन सब के बारे में प्रॉपरली सोचना है. एंड देन क्रिएट्स अ म्यूजियम बिल्डिंग. सो देन building constructed for museums. But what happens nowadays? Museums established in general buildings. But without the practical provision for their requirements, अगर वो सोच के नहीं बनाए तो कोई फायदा नहीं. Failed to seek professional museological advice, all failed to define clearly their requirements. बताते ही नहीं है लोग भी, स्टाफ भी जो होता है ना, जब बिल्डिंग डिजाइन होता है कुछ लोग बताते हैं, बहुत अग्रेसिवली बताते हैं, बट समटाइम्स नो. And authorities have not themselves sufficient understanding of museums. Yes, this is practically happened. And their contemporary functions to specify what is needed. अभी मेरा म्यूजियम बिल्डिंग का एक हॉल, जिस जहां अभी मैं बैठा हुआ हूँ, सो ये चेंज होकर के अगर कहीं ऊपर कहीं मेरा ही थर्ड फ्लोर पे जाने वाला है या किसी और में जाने वाला है, तो वो कैसा होना चाहिए, वो जाने से पहले वहां शोकेसेस कैसे होंगे, उसका एक ये बना करके मैं ऑलरेडी मेरा टेबल के ऊपर इस तरह से इसको रखता हूँ. यू कैन सी इन माय हैंड. सो पहले ही रख देते हैं कि वहां जाने के बाद हमारा ये किस तरह से होगा, वहां पे वेपन्स का कहाँ ये होगा, शोकेसेस किस तरह के होंगे, इस तरह से हमको सोचना है. सो विदाउट थिंकिंग दिस ऑल दिस थिंग्स, it's not designed properly. And contemporary functions to specify what is needed. So in Indian conditions or in international conditions and requirements are different. So local, as per the local things, लोकल लोगों का क्या थिंकिंग है, उनका नीड क्या है. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि बहुत ज्यादा क्राउड आ गया और आप बहुत ब्यूटीफुल क्रॉकरी or the glass items, if they're in the museum, if they just put it on the table, will it be okay? That crowd will destroy it. जानबूझ के नहीं, पर नॉट पर्पजफुली, बट वो क्राउड में धक्का लग जाता है ना, सो जस्ट डिस्ट्रॉय. क्या हुआ? ऐसे ही बस नष्ट हो गया. When I took one beautiful statue from Bhopal and I kept it on my bed and went for taking the bath, took the bath. At that time, my child, he was just 3 years old. वो आके उसको उठाया, he want to enjoying and curiosity, but उसके हाथ से वो गिर गया and it's break, वो टूट गया. So whose mistake? Is it of that child? No, it's our, because हमने ये सोचा ही नहीं कि ऐसा भी कुछ हो सकता है. So if you are not ready to think about the surrounding or the crowd, the peoples, those who will visit your museum, like in Rajshekhar Reddy State Museum, the State Archaeology Department, now it's converted, the name converted as a Telangana Heritage Department. And in that museum, vertical showcases like by such crowd. बच्चों का कॉलेज का ट्रिप आया, बच्चे बस ऐसे इसमें ये हो गए, वो टूट गया. सो हमको उसके बारे में सोचना चाहिए. डायरेक्ट टच नहीं होगा, ऐसा बैरिकेडिंग प्रॉपरली करना चाहिए. Then character of your collections, you should need to know it. Architect can interpret in structural terms what they prescribe, but cannot on his own invent a building suitable for their needs. So again, as well as funding is also important thing. Financer जो भी है, though it is a government fund or the CSR funds or like that, उनका terms conditions we should need to care about it. So I used the word like financer for the films, no. Then architect, museologist, curator, these all should come together and make a proper model or structure plan for museum. So then from where we will get the funds, the possibilities, like income sources. First, simple way, museum entry fee. It must be depend on maintenance, expenditure, available exhibition material and visitors class, like that. If your museum is just of half an hour, time. If it's required half an hour time, like it's a single hall, and if you ask 500 rupees entry fee, are the people ready? अगर आपका collection, if in your collection if such unique and most wonderful important things are there, then they can pay. It's okay. Like for the films, people give 100 or 200 or like that. But for the museums, if it is a small room, then they will never be ready for to spend such money. So it's depending on these all these things. Then the facilities provided by museum, like the snacks and other cafeteria, accommodation, library, archives, photocopying services, digital services, conservation preservation laboratory. Conservation preservation not only for the museum artifacts, but our archive, your archival own archives material, but for the society also. You can provide the services to your surrounding educational institutions or the government documents like that, as we provided the services like INTAC. INTAC provides such type of the services. No, INTAC, Indira Gandhi National Trust for this cultural heritage. Head office is in Delhi, and INTAC chapters there are in all over the India. So we can provide such type of the services there. Then some diploma, degree, or short-term courses, educational courses like that, and you can get the revenue for the museum. Then book published with the use of available manuscripts. If you have such important and interesting manuscripts, then you can publish the books and you can get the revenue. Historical documents in museum and booklets like that. Then sale of replicas of coins, currencies, numismatical and rare antiquities, like sale by our ASI also. Then other museum products like handmade objects. It's not necessary प्रोडक्शन इन योर ओन म्यूजियम, बट इन सराउंडिंग रीजन टू. आपका लोकेलिटी में ऐसा एक्सपर्ट्स को, आर्टिस्ट को प्रमोट करने के लिए उनका जो प्रोडक्ट्स है उसको भी हम अपना म्यूजियम में सेट है. खादी, लोकल आर्टिस्ट ऑब्जेक्ट्स, लोकल स्पेशल फूड आइटम्स आल्सो इन कैफेटेरिया टू. देन अरेंज डिफरेंट एक्टिविटी प्रोग्राम्स, small programs and big scale programs also, educational workshops, seminars, then funds by different trusts, organizations and persons. It is depending on your museum's theme and the purpose of the donors. Then different government or semi-government schemes like the Ministry of Culture schemes and other state governments schemes, and private companies CSR funds like ONGC or Tata, and so many such companies are there. Nowadays, there is a national cultural fund, one NCP, a special government portal is also there. This is the by Ministry of Culture, Government of India's Museums Grant. See here, there are the three different categories. First category, central museums only, okay, like ASI museums. They will get around 15 crore or more than that too. Then category second, state museums and semi-government museums like that. So here it's mentioned for category first, so category second like that. So state museums, they could get such a type of the fund. Then for the third category, like the private organizations, for the setting up of new museum, 5 crore, and development of existing museum, 4 crore. But here is one important thing. It's a ratio 80-20. It means that private organization should keep 20% amount with them on the account of the museum, and 80% will provide by the government like that. So, but in some exceptional cases, they can provide 100% too. So here it's mentioned what should needed to be these all categories, second, first, third, or like that. The list of documents, as we mentioned, DPR is important, but as well as the registration document and annual reports, or at least 3 years this audit documents important. So registration certificate and that all important documents they need. So it's mentioned another important things. If you want to search about this, you just put in Google Government of India, Ministry of Cultures, Museums Grant Scheme. You will get all in these all documents in online. Okay, so this is the National Culture Fund for any CSR grants. You can apply over here. Then other important funding agencies on international level, like this different foundations, Bank of America, Bill and Melinda Gates, this foundation, Getty Foundation, British Ecological Society. So many such are 55 such type of the organizations are there. Then for the personal research in these fields like Nehru Fulbright Fellowship or like that, then ICHR fellowships. So you can get these all these things for your personal museums interest too. Then what are the social responsibility of the museums? So first, traditional viewpoint of a museum's function is that they are there or to preserve and interpret collection. This is the traditional viewpoint. But now viewed as institutions that can bring people in the community together. संग्रहालय ये कार्य कर सकते हैं, promote social activism and develop programs aimed towards creating positive changes within communities. Is there any such museum? Could you say any example in your surrounding, in locality, who is working like for this? Aimed towards creating positive changes within communities. If such, salute for it. Please write about that museum. I will be also happy to read it. So the role of museums today like this, museum and related different terms are there. General understanding of the peoples about the museums, knowledge of the community, evolution of the public and students, visitors, display alternative perspectives, connect those of different backgrounds. So museums as centers of long life learning. We'll see some pictures and we'll get more information. Some of the first public museums, they think about these traditionals, but nowadays museums becomes the friends of the museum. Museums become the friends of public, and society also or the public must also become the friends of museum. This concept you can see it. Museum kya hai? What is a museum? So many things are there, but generally this is general understanding of people about museum. Beautiful showcases, beautiful antiquities like that. Is it sufficient to show in museum only? क्या बस इतना ही रखना काफी है? Collections and it exhibitions only? No. But as ICOM said, something more about to develop their educational role. Are we really thinking seriously about all these things? Museum must become the learning centers, not only for the students, but for all type of the peoples, for the society, and as well as there is and so many such positive things are there in the society too. So why can't we use that ability for our museums? So the meaning of the museum is visualization of ideas. Then so many new ideas with a new generation, and they want to study something like this. कुछ नया innovative ways से वो सीखना चाहते हैं. So teachers and professors use the museums. They must use the museums as a bridge of the gap of content and visualization. Like when we studied or when we teach the 1857 war, only the incidents, only the dates are there. ये लड़ाई कब हुई, वो राजा कब पैदा हुआ, वो कब मर गया, ये लड़ाई क्यों हुआ, वो वॉर क्यों हुआ, वो वॉर का तारीख क्या था. Is it that only? बट उसको और ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग, अच्छा यूजफुलनेस होने के लिए म्यूजियम्स को एक कनेक्टिंग ब्रिज बना दीजिएगा. बोरिंग को हटाने के लिए इसको यूज करना है, बट उसके लिए आपके पास में अच्छा टीम होना चाहिए. इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी दे आर need to be your permanent employees. You can get the help by so many different peoples in the society too. So such type of, see the credibility of museums here, around 30%. Why visit the museums? Learning opportunity for me. एक बार विजिट किया, 2 बार विजिट किया, 3 बार विजिट किया या उससे ज्यादा बार विजिट किया, क्यों किया? कुछ सीखना था. Why should we need to visit again and visit again and again? लर्निंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज है. सो इस तरह से कुछ इवेल्युएट करने के लिए, रीजंस को ये करने के लिए हमको म्यूजियम्स एक्सपर्ट्स और द प्रोफेशनल्स शुड नीड टू टेक केयर फॉर दिस थिंग्स. व्हाट आर विजिटर्स लुकिंग फॉर व्हेन दे विजिट म्यूजियम वेबसाइट्स? ये सभी चीजों को यहाँ दिखाया है, बट आर देयर वेबसाइट्स अवेलेबल ऑफ ऑल म्यूजियम्स? In India, we can see only the 5% of museums are having their websites. 95% museums, they have, few of them have some blog or um, uh, you can say social media account like Facebook page or Instagram, LinkedIn, like that, but not proper information available. Like as I mentioned, among these 29 museums in Pune, only we can get the information of 10 museums, but it is Pune, huh? Like a metropolitan city. But what about this Jalgaon district museums? There are around 10 museums are there, but only two museums website available there. So same like that, we should need to think about this people's or the our experts. This new generation also help to them. So as I mentioned, display alternatives perspectives होना चाहिए, नहीं तो हाथी और सात अंधों की कथा जैसा हो जाता है. So how is a diverse understanding of history an important part of loving and serving others in my life now and in the future? So this multi perspectivity होना चाहिए म्यूजियम डिजाइन के समय भी, and an advantage to connect different backgrounds peoples. So like this periodic elements, जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं ना कि NAMGL ऐसा है, थर्ड रो एलिमेंट्स. सो कुछ ऐसा, कुछ हट के, कुछ न्यू वे से डिजाइन करते हुए, कुछ सोच के ऐसा कुछ कर सकते हैं, इट्स बेटर. सो ये कंसेप्ट फ्रेंड्स ऑफ द म्यूजियम, इट्स अ नाइस कंसेप्ट. All expertise are not there, experts are not there in your museum team, or as your staff, but yes, you can create a societal team. समाज में जाकर के एक ऐसे टीम को आप निर्माण कर सकते हैं, उनकी मदद ले सकते हैं. So then this type of different museums are there. Who had started this museum, friends of museum concept in India? Every year they organize such programs. IGRMS Bhopal. So then overall a museum is what? There are the artifacts, exhibits, identity, museum mission. So participation by there's different types of institutions, audience engage, connecting with the content. But the social work of museums challenges museum professionals to situate the serving of human needs more centrally within museum theory and practice. If the museums are not ready for to be as a problem solver for the societies, then please not hope for any help society too. अगर आप समाज की समस्याओं का समाधान देने के लिए अगर आप तैयार नहीं हैं, सिर्फ समथिंग ब्यूटीफुल 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 कुछ बना रहे, बट इट्स एज पर योर पर्सपेक्टिव्स, नो. आप चाहे सोने की दीवारें खड़ी कर दीजिएगा, दो देयर आर दी गोल्डन वॉल्स, बट इफ सोसाइटी नॉट नीड्स इट, इट विल डिस्ट्रॉय ऑटोमेटिकली वन डे. रोमन एम्पायर आए, अन्य कई बड़े बड़े राजा महाराजा आए, कई बड़े बड़े पैलेसेस खड़े किए, सब नष्ट हो गए. बट द इंस्टीट्यूशंस, दोज सोसाइटी विल थिंक एज इट विल बी यूजफुल फॉर देम. समाज अगर सोचता है कि उसकी हमें जरूरत है, उस संस्था की जरूरत है, समाज उसे जिंदा रखेगा. इतना पक्का याद रखिएगा. दो दे आर द बुद्धिस्ट मोनेस्ट्रीज और द गुरुकुलास और एनीथिंग लाइक दैट, तो समाज उसको जीवित रखता है. अगर समाज को लगता है कि उसकी हमें जरूरत है तो then so museums provided a fact-based scientific humanistic appraisal of the situation in COVID-19 period. Like just I want to give an example. In our city, in Jalgaon city, Gandhi Research Foundation or the Jain Irrigation System Limited had done such great work at the time. We provided the food for the peoples, daily around 2,000 peoples for at least 3 months. Morning breakfast, then lunch and dinner packets. So daily we provided in our city around 3 months for this COVID first and second wave in both. So ऐसे कुछ हमको करना है ना, it's our duty. तो समाज भी हमारे साथ खड़ा होता है. When I asked to the society, they funded 6.5 crore rupees within 1 month only. So समाज भी तब खड़ा होता है ना कि जब आप जाकर समाज के लिए कुछ करें. So, but our museum's field is responsible, creative, and empathetic in a time when everyone could use a good old-fashioned does of perspective. ऐसे कुछ करना चाहिए. If the museums will not become useful for the society,
definitely they will disappear one day. ऐसे संग्रहालय एक दिन खत्म हो जाएंगे. So APJ Abdul Kalam mentioned in his letter, see his lines. The visit to Gandhi Tirth and Khoj Gandhi Ki Museum was another important event of my visit. This is one of the best museums on Gandhiji I have seen. This is most important. I am sure many young children who visit the Gandhi Tirth and Museum will definitely get inspired by the life and times of Gandhiji. With best wishes, yours sincerely, APJ Abdul Kalam. So ऐसे कुछ जब आप कुछ करते हैं और किसी के द्वारा आपको अप्रिशिएट किया जाता है, सो हम लोग सही दिशा में चल रहे या नहीं उसके बारे में पता चलता है. So very humbly thankful to all of you. Our today's assignment is what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself as a friend of museum. So please write few lines about this, half page or one page like that. So thank you. Thanks a lot to all of you again. So just I will put this one line in our group as our today's assignment.